Hi, my name is Dr.
Gauhar Baydildinova.
This video is a part of my lectures on evidence-based medicine and epidemiology. This lecture is about health misinformation and a brief guide for fact-checking. There are three types of information disorder: misinformation, unintentional mistakes such as inaccurate photo captions, dates, statistics, translations, or when satire is taken seriously. For example, the Kazakhstani Instagram account Kaz News 24 often posts satirical content, but people still take it seriously, even though a disclaimer at the end of the post clearly states it is a satirical news agency. Malinformation: deliberate publication of private information for personal or corporate rather than public interest, such as revenge porn. Deliberate change of context, date, or time of genuine content. And the last one is disinformation: fabricated or deliberately manipulated audio-visual content. For example, intentionally created conspiracy theories or rumors. Types of disinformation: memes, which are created as jokes but can be taken seriously by the public. For example, there was a meme involving Tide Pods, where people joked that they looked like candy and could be eaten. Unfortunately, some people took the joke seriously, and it led to dangerous behavior. Google and Facebook eventually removed much of this content from searches, and now there are few results related to this meme. Another example is an advertisement for a funeral service displayed on the subway with the tagline, "Get a little closer." These kinds of ads, when taken seriously, can mislead the public. Misleading websites and clickbait. There are also websites that look very professional, mimicking news outlets but publishing false news with clickbait titles. For instance, Taboola is an agency that specializes in clickbait content, and there are many similar websites across the internet. The Instagram account I have already mentioned, Kaz News 24, also looks like a legitimate news portal, for example, similar to Tengrinews in Kazakhstan. But it is a satirical news source. Quote, manipulation. Another form of misinformation involves quotes that have been altered by removing the beginning or end, thereby changing their meaning. This creates misconceptions by stripping away the necessary context. For instance, on October 31st, 2017, a terrorist attack took place in New York City, where the attacker shouted, "Allahu Akbar," before being shot by police. Fox News later reported that CNN commentator Jake Tapper said, "Allahu Akbar is beautiful." However, Jake Tapper's actual comment was that the phrase Allahu Akbar can be used during both beautiful moments, like weddings or births, as well as during tragic events, such as terrorist attacks. Cherry-picking statistics. Another common tactic is cherry-picking statistics, picking numbers that support a hypothesis while omitting those that contradict it. For example, Deutsche Welle published an article debunking a claim that vaccinated individuals were more likely to get infected with Omicron. I'm sorry, I have this news only in Russian and couldn't find in English. So, people who spread this news picked up only numbers in which they were interested, and did not consider that unvaccinated people were not allowed to go to public places and had to stay at home, where they had minimal chances of being infected. Misleading graphs and charts. Another tactic involves presenting misleading graphs or charts that appear official but fail to tell the full story. For example, in a graph published in Nature, different values were shown on similarly sized scales. When adjusted to proper scale, the data looks very different. Using old photos as recent evidence. For instance, xenophobic websites in Spain used old photos of Moroccans in Casablanca, attributing them to Moroccan migrants in Spain, spreading anti-Moroccan migrant sentiments. Similarly, after Iran's January 2020 attack on U.S. military bases, old images from unrelated events were spread as evidence of the attack. This form of misinformation is particularly dangerous because images have a powerful effect on influencing public opinion and can strongly reinforce false beliefs. Edited videos. Edited videos are another major issue where the meaning is altered through selective editing. With advances in artificial intelligence, we can expect even more of these deepfakes in the future. I will leave a link to a CNN article on this topic. Not all my examples related to health, but it can be easily applied to it as well as we could observe during 2020 to 2021. Why is it so tempting to share misinformation about health? There are several explanations. Exclusive awareness. We like feeling that we have new information that others don't know about. Protecting loved ones. We share information to protect those we care about. Seeking explanations. We often look for information that helps us make sense of events, especially in times of uncertainty, such as during the COVID-19 pandemic. Unfortunately, we often share this information without verification. Social connection. Humans are social beings, and we naturally want to feel connected to others. Common disinformation tactics. Incorporating official logos. Fake news often incorporates logos of authoritative organizations, like the CDC, to appear legitimate. Visual cues. People often use images of individuals in white coats or holding a stethoscope to appear credible. Professional-looking websites. Our brains associate professional-looking websites with credibility, even when they are publishing false information. First-person anecdotes. Disinformation often takes the form of personal experiences, which are difficult to fact-check, making it harder for people to discern the truth. Using unique or rare terms so that there are fewer links when searching for content related to that term, and therefore less likely to have available fact-checks or rebuttals. Creating content that looks like a first-person personal experience. It is very difficult to do fact-checking on those who claim, "This happened to me." Those who are trying to spread misinformation, therefore, willfully create content that looks like real-life stories from real people, when in fact everything is made up. I also have 2 paid courses on Udemy. The Critical Assessment of Clinical Studies teaches how to read and critically evaluate clinical studies. It's a very great course. The same as my second course, Scientific Writing, where I tell all the nuances of how to write a scientific article or dissertation. Links are in the description box. Fact-checking tips. If you're unsure about the information you come across, don't share it. Here's a quick guide to fact-checking. Read beyond the headline. Journalists often write clickbait headlines. Check the source. Investigate how the news outlet published the story. Channels with clear biases won't provide an objective view of events. Check the publication date. Sometimes misinformation spreads because people are unaware of the context in which an article was written. Who's the author? Be cautious of content from pro-government or opposition sources, as they may have their own agendas. Look at references. Check the sources used in the article to verify its credibility. Beware of questionable quotes and photos. Sometimes quotes and images are manipulated to support a false narrative. Avoid confirmation bias. People often seek information that aligns with their existing beliefs. Try to avoid this and look for counterarguments. Check if other outlets are reporting it. Reliable news tends to be reported by multiple credible sources. Use reverse image search. This tool helps verify whether images are being misused or taken out of context. Think before sharing. Always double-check the information before passing it on to others. Ask yourself 5 simple questions. Who says? How do they know that? What's missing? Is the object of a study not substituted? And does the news make sense?